What's happening, everybody? What's going on? Welcome to LightSaber Radio, the most outrageous Star Wars show in the galaxy. First and foremost, happy early 4th of July to everyone in the galaxy far, far away. The 4th is Tuesday. Everybody have fun, light off some fireworks, and stay safe because there's a lot of crazy people out here nowadays.
Yeah, stay safe. Don't try to be blowing up no Death Stars, okay?
Yeah, no blowing up Death Stars. And don't, if you have a firework called the Death Star, don't let that fucker off. So long ago in the galaxy far, far away, the Star Wars sequel trilogy captivated fans around the world. We were all waiting for this trilogy to come out. Yet it sparked an intense debate and left many longing for something more. But what if you had the power in your hands as fans to reshape the sequel trilogy to create a more satisfying experience? In this groundbreaking video, we're going to embark on that thrilling journey to reimagine the saga's continuation, exploring the changes we would make, stuff that we would propose to enhance the storytelling, the character arcs, and the overall impact of the sequel trilogy. So brace yourself for a captivating exploration of our creativity and yours, you know what I'm saying? Because I know all you guys got, thoughts in your head things that you would do differently. Where will these possibilities take us? We're about to find out. As the Star Wars galaxy takes an unexpected turn into how the fans would have made the sequel trilogy. So let's get to it.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
At last we will reveal ourselves.
I have a bad feeling about this.
You are now if you only knew the power of gods.
Here it comes.
Let's go.
You are now tuned in to LightSaber Radio. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello there.
Okay, everybody. Prepare to be mesmerized as we embark on this thrilling journey through this captivating world of the StarArs sequel trilogy. And me and Garrison, we've been putting our minds together and doing some different things and come up. Now, I took this on as a screenwriter. Now, if I was going to rewrite the three trilogies, the three trilogies, no, just the sequel trilogy. The other ones is great.
The other ones are perfect. Don't touch them, Kyle.
But if I was going to rewrite the sequel trilogy, how would I rewrite them? And not changing characters. We're not going to change characters. We're not going to take out the characters. We're going to utilize the characters that was already within the story.
Yeah.
Just make it better. Because, Rey wasn't a bad character. Finn wasn't a bad character. Shit, Poe's one of my favorite Star Wars characters. Poe's hilarious.
Rey was a bad character. Rey was a bad character. She had potential to be a good character, but I don't think she was actually a very good character.
They just didn't write her right. Like, I like Dizzy, really. And
so she's a bad character.
It was kind of nice to, see a hot chick
great
being somebody instead of, I don't want to watch
she had great
dude.
Potential. She had potential. It was just
the character wasn't
fulfilled.
bad though. They just basically made her Luke Skywalker. That's like saying Luke Skywalker's a bad character. She's the exact same character. The whole thing. She's the same character.
It just needs to be written better.
But anyway, we're gonna go through and give our our thoughts on how I took it more of a screenwriter. Like if I was gonna rewrite the story utilizing the same characters, how would I rewrite it and how would I try to make them better? And then Garrison took on more of a role as fan, like how a fan would do it. So we're going to give you both sides of the story. But before we get to all that, we got to get our outrageous juices flowing. And the way we do that here on LightSaber Radio is our form of an icebreaker, the Housebreaker. Garrison is going to give us a crazy scenario, and we got to try to figure it out. We got to figure out how we would handle that or how we would do it. So he's going to give us that thing. So go ahead and drop that little Housebreaker intro video. Okay.
So I actually saw this debate on Reddit. If you were to take an Avenger or a superhero and put them in the Marvel universe, who do you think would do the best? Like who would be able to hold their own against
in the
like
Star
Sith?
Wars universe?
Or that's what I thank you. Someone from the Marvel universe.
I was like,
put
wait a
them
minute,
in
they're
the.
already in the Marvel universe.
Shut up, Kyle. Shut up, Kyle. You put them in the Star Wars universe. Who would hold their own the best? At first, I was thinking, oh, the Hulk, dude. The Hulk can't die. But then I'm thinking, like, dude, Darth Vader's forcing entire ships up. I feel like he could just force the Hulk up in the air, and he'd just be kicking and screaming. He'd just be like going crazy, just floating in the air. Wouldn't really do much.
You can't say Superman because Superman's abilities is only because of the sun, our sun. He have to, and we don't know if the suns in them are the same type of sun. So Superman might not even have no abilities. Can't say Spider-Man because
that's right.
Fucking webbing ain't gonna do shit against a lightsaber and force.
Spider-Man would get his ass whooped.
Yeah, Thor.
He'd get his ass whooped.
Dr. Carter said Thor. I think Thor.
Your web is nice, but like these people don't need webs to pull stuff. You think so? You think Thor?
I think Thor. Well, I don't know because
maybe.
Thor can still die, and a lightsaber is pretty freaking.
He can do the force. He can basically do the lightning.
He can do the lightning thing, so that I don't know. Thor might be pretty good.
But could a Jedi lift that hammer with the force?
Probably not.
I feel like one of the Jedi could, because you're telling me like Luke Skywalker isn't pure of heart.
No, because he has some dark side tendencies. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's only Luke Skywalker and the fucking Disney ruined him. I feel like Yoda might be able to lift that.
You know who would probably hold the best out of everybody?
Iron Man?
Nope. Doctor Strange.
Bro. Oh, that's a good point. Or like Scarlet
you gotta
Witch.
Figure he could just force portal. I mean, he could just portal himself to, what I'm saying, different shit. He could.
That's a good point. Doctor Strange would.
I think Thanos with the fucking gauntlet on. Yeah.
Well, fuck, dude. That's not fair.
Hey, you want to hear something crazy? So the other day I was sitting here and I was just sitting there thinking because I'm writing some different screenplays, short films and stuff, and I'm sitting there thinking like, dude, do you know in Infinity War that Thanos is actually the hero of that story?
How so?
Because he's the only one. The hero is the only one that they categorize that goes from the start to the end and has a complete arc that builds up to get what he wants. That's what the hero's journey is in screenwriting. When you're writing a screen, and he's the only one that captivates all 15 plot points of the hero.
Oh.
He gives up something.
You mean of like the technical heroes? Yeah, I get you. Like the hero's journey.
He is the main character of Infinity War. Everybody else is not the Avengers is not really the main characters of Infinity Wars. Infinity Wars, Thanos is the main character, and not only is he the main character, he fulfills all 15 plot points that curates him as the hero. He is the hero's journey. Starts off with what he's trying to do, and it ends by him achieving his goal. He gives up something when he kills what's-her-face to gain something. He has to sacrifice something. Every single plot point the whole movie is technically about Thanos. It's not about the Avengers. Every single plot point that a hero has to achieve in a story in order for it to make an actual screenplay or make an actual movie is about Thanos. It's not about the rest of them. It blew my mind when I'm sitting there thinking about it, and then I went through the little plot points of like, because anybody that's ever read Save the Cat, Save the Cat is a book that was based on a story, how to write a movie and stuff like that. And it goes, you have these 15 like beats that you have to follow within writing a story. Every movie has it. There's 15 beats within a movie. Or at least in a hero's journey type of movie, like Sixth Sense or horror film might not be the same, but like in a hero's journey type of movie, Thanos is the only character within the entire Infinity War that has all 15 points, and the whole movie is based technically on what he wants. to get the gauntlet so he can fucking save the galaxy by eliminating half of the people that's there. Because he says it. He says the galaxy is corrupt. The galaxy is going to fail because there's too many people sucking up the resources of the galaxy. So we need to kill half of all the people that live here so the galaxy doesn't fail. And he achieves that by the end of the story. Fucking crazy. I blew my mind. I was like, God damn it, really? A fucking Infinity Wars was based on Thanos. Like he's the hero of the movie. Even though he's technically a bad guy, but he is the hero.
That's actually one of the problems I had. One of the problems I had with fucking this most recent Guardians of the Galaxy is like the Avengers are all trying to save the planet. In Guardians of the Galaxy, an entire planet is obliterated, and the Guardians are like, oh well, let's keep moving on anyways. What the fuck? Like killed way more people than Thanos did. Yeah, it was interesting. Wolverine. Do you think adamantium could get cut by a lightsaber? That's actually a great question.
This doesn't matter. It doesn't, because you could use the Force. If his head is severed, Wolverine's head is severed, then he would die. Adamantium is not going to hold together against the Force. The Force could rip adamantium apart.
You think so?
Yeah,
the Force?
Technically, the Force is in everything. So that means the Force is within the adamantium.
Bro, when have we seen in Star Wars someone ripping someone's head off using the Force? I've never seen that before.
They never have to do that, but they could. Then you got to also think about it. Electricity. It's metal.
Yeah, but he can't die, dude.
Against electricity. He don't do anything good against magnetism. So all they have to do is turn on a magnet. You know what I'm saying? So Wolverine ain't.
He can't die though.
He can die. He dies in the movie.
But I think well, he dies in the movie because the adamantium has been poisoning him over years and years and years.
No, that's not even why he dies.
We're talking
lot of people think that's
Wolverine
why he dies.
in his prime. That is why he dies.
No, Wolverine actually died. If you look at if you break down the story, when the samurai dude sucks out his damn bone marrow, that's where your mutant force is at, is in your bone marrow. So that took away some of his unaging ability.
Healing ability?
So, yeah, his healing ability. So then he could die. You know
that's
what I'm
an
saying?
Interesting take. That's a different
take.
So
if the samurai dude whenever sucked out the thing, even though they put the adamantium after him after that, he still he isn't at full strength that he was. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to figure.
But you also got to think
come from your bone marrow.
You got to think in Days of Future Past.
All your genes and shit.
But in Days of Future Past, that like reverses, doesn't it? So none of those movies happen.
Shit, I don't know. I don't know.
Anyway,
you fucking died.
I think
so
it's the same thing as
died,
Hulk. It's the same thing as Hulk because technically in the comics, Hulk can't die either. But when you got the Force, you don't even have to fight him. You just hold him up in the air, wait for him to tire out, put him in a prison. You know what I mean?
Use the Force because the Force can squeeze. If somebody can squeeze your fucking throat and suffocate you, they can squeeze your heart. I don't give a fuck if you can't.
It's the same thing with think about Magneto. Magneto just put some rebar through him and dumped him in a river. Any Force user could do that to Wolverine. Yeah. So they might not kill Wolverine. He could survive maybe, but he's not fighting.
Yeah, he's not. Nah.
I'm thinking. Well, I think like Iron Man because he's basically Boba Fett but better.
Yeah, but I mean, you could use
Boba
the
Fett
Force
with
and
the better
crush
suit.
the person with inside.
I know.
You could crush the suit.
No, it's just I'm well aware. Basically, none of these guys have the Force. They're fucked. I think you're right. Thor is the only one who might be able to hold his own for a bit.
Thor or Doctor Strange, because it'd be hard to get a hold of Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
you know
Doctor Strange would be tough.
And even if you did beat it right before he died, all you have to do is use the fucking time stone to go back in time and try something else. And he can look at every single way that you could kill him, you know what I'm saying, and fucking go back, and because he can see all the shit. All you have to do before the fight start, pull out the time stone and like he does.
That's such a cheat code. He'll know every outcome. It's such a cheat code, yeah.
Except the fucking outcome where he wins. So then all he has to do is do that outcome, and then he'll win. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of, I don't know, Doctor Strange might, but he's still human. So, it's kind of hard to go when somebody's choking you with the Force. You know what I'm saying? So that would be kind of hard. I don't know. That's a hard fucking, that's a hard.
It's good.
That's a hard thing to come by. You know, who would there's a
I don't
lot
think,
of Marvel
dude.
characters.
I think like a good Force user could beat Thanos even because like, what do you? How are you going to snap your fingers if like? How are you going to use the stones if they just force the stones off your hand?
Yeah, the Force is some powerful shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know there's probably somebody. I mean, it took like all like to beat fucking what's his face. It took like all of the.
I think Magneto.
I'll tell you, you know who could beat him?
But he's
Jean.
not an Avenger. Magneto might be able to do it.
Jean.
Jean Grey. Oh yeah.
Once she
Oh
becomes the
fucking
Phoenix.
fucking Xavier. Yeah, dude.
Once she becomes the Phoenix, ain't no stopping her.
And Charles Xavier. That's a great one. Both those guys. There's what do you call them? The telepathics or whatever.
Telepathics.
Yeah.
And then once she becomes the fucking Phoenix, she's like
She gets
Jean
crazy.
Is the shit.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, she just fucking literally just made fucking Xavier disappear, turned him into fucking like just air. You know
That's a
what I'm
great
saying?
point.
So
That's a great point.
she's like the most powerful fucking mutant that there is, like ever. I don't know.
That's a good point.
That's kind of hard to fucking think. I don't know. But if we're talking about just Avengers, I think Thor. Thor would be the only Avenger. Now, if we're just talking about mutants,
Like Marvel in general.
I
Yeah.
don't know. DC maybe the Flash because he could run away.
Yeah, and the Flash is so fast.
Yeah,
Well, he's
that
so
motherfucker's
fast.
Blown
Like,
out. It'd be hard to use the Force on something that's moving so fucking fast that you can't even see it coming. But then what is his power? Electricity because he builds up electrical current, shoot you with some electrical bolt. But like,
I feel like it depends so much because there's so many there's so many versions of like the Flash. So you don't know like which Flash are we talking? Are we talking like Flash's actual potential, which is like, bro, he can like travel through time and shit.
I don't know. That's kind of hard. DC, I don't know. Superman because it depends on the sun. I don't know. Wonder Woman's pretty dope.
Man, I feel like in Tatooine, Superman would clap cheeks, bro. He's got 2 sons.
Be twice as strong, but they got to be the same type of sons that we have. Because it's only the type of sun that we have that gives them his abilities. Yeah, so
it's a yellow sun.
Yeah, it's a yellow sun. They are yellow suns. But what if it was like a yellow sun and a red sun? So the yellow sun is there, and then the red sun is taking away your power, and the yellow sun is giving you power.
And the red sun's sucking him.
What's up, J-Dog?
That would suck.
I don't know.
Right.
That's a hard-ass question. That was a hard what if. Because you got to think
about
it. There's some badass.
It's a good question.
I mean, there's some bad mutants. And just think of like, if you think of like, what's her face? Fucking, she could just change people and they wouldn't even know who she was.
Oh, fucking, goddamn! I know exactly who you're talking about. The blue chick.
Yeah.
Jennifer Lawrence.
Green Lantern could probably do it. Yeah, Bodhi Collection is, yeah. I didn't think about the Green Lantern. Green Lantern's pretty dope. He got that ring. But he's still human. He could just get crushed by the Force. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They just snatch his ring right off his fucking finger. Just break his fucking hand off or some shit. Just crush him. I don't know. The Force is
Mangled
dope.
up hand.
The Force is dope because the Flash take off running. They just use the Force to stop him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just hold him in place. There goes all your ability. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, the Force is shit. You being able to. Well, it also matters which Force users we're talking about.
Yeah. Like how,
you know
how strong of a Force
user. You take
user?
somebody that sucks with their Force ability, they're just better with a lightsaber, then they're probably gonna get their ass whooped. But by a lot of these dudes, but you take somebody like Yoda or fucking Palpatine, yeah, you might have a fucking problem. Palpatine don't even use lightsabers no more. He's so fucking powerful. Or like the fucking Emperor, like the Sith Emperor.
Oh, dude,
that dude just fucking put thoughts in your head. He'll make you kill yourself. You know what I'm saying? You're fucked, man. Them motherfuckers, the people that could use the Force like that, oh yeah, you're screwed.
Thor's just bonking himself on the head.
And then you get like Anakin, like before Anakin was Darth Vader, like holy shit, man, Anakin controlled the sister and the brother. The fucking father was supposed to take over, like he wanted Anakin to take over and control the entire Force. Like, dude, you take somebody like that, I don't know. Could be hard to whoop his ass. He could fucking do dark side, light side, all kind of crazy shit. Yeah, it'd be kind of hard to whoop Anakin, like young, like early 20 Anakin before he became Darth Vader. Yeah, it'd be really hard to beat him. And then like Darth Vader against Iron Man, Darth Vader's in a fucking suit. He's all mechanical too. So yeah, that's the fucking. He's gonna cut your ass in half or crush you with the Force. So it's kind of hard. That's a hard ass question right there.
It's a good
That
one.
was a hard one.
Thank you.
All right, and there's too many fucking mutants to like, cause you gotta think about it. You got all like, there's too many types.
The
of
universe is just so big in like Marvel and stuff and superheroes
Yeah,
that
so
there's
so
just
many different characters that have so many special. Fuck, what is it? What's it? Apocalypto or Apocalypto or whatever the fuck his name is? That
Yeah.
dude fucking is. It took like fucking 50 mutants to fucking beat that dude. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of hard to beat that motherfucker. But then you got like Thanos. Thanos is fucking hard as shit. You know what I'm saying? Like Thanos. That motherfucker was just beating people. He beat up the Hulk. He beat up the Hulk.
So
the Hulk
dumb.
didn't even want to come out no more.
So
he was
dumb.
scared to come out. You know what I'm saying? Thanos is pretty dope. And that's just, we're just looking, Thanos is the only like really bad guy we brought. There's a lot of bad guys that are fucking powerful as shit. They're just stupid.
Yeah, dude. There's like bad guys that are like way bigger than Thanos.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad guys that are fucking like, fuck, you could be Ant-Man. Just think about Ant-Man. That motherfucker just grows real big and step on your ass. I don't know how much of the force you have, but to stop a giant ass
Bro,
fucking
that was the
person
biggest. That's one of my biggest problems. Why couldn't Ant-Man crawl up Thanos' butt and just turn big? That's all he had to do. That's all he had to do. He had to crawl up Thanos' butt as a little when he's tiny, and then just grow big. Boom! No more Thanos.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know why
I don't
that
think
was.
there-
I don't
I
know
don't
why
think there's
nobody thought
any-
about that.
I don't think there's any fucking entire fucking Marvel character that could take getting exploded from the inside.
Yeah,
Not even
He could-
Wolverine.
he could have exploded him from the inside like that.
He could have just crawled up. I know there got to be a hole somewhere in that animanium. He could have got in there, got to his brain, and just said, bloop. Just
Yeah,
done.
exactly.
You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
I don't know why nobody thought of that. Or Doctor Strange, another great question. Why didn't he just use the little portal, cut off Thanos' hand? Just put a portal right where his hand is, close the portal, boom, hand gone.
Yeah.
Missed opportunities.
Maybe they just didn't think about it.
Plot holes. That's what I'm saying. Plot holes.
Okay. So, if you could, this is the ultimate question here. If you could rewrite the sequel trilogy, but you had to keep the same characters, you can't change the characters. Characters are already in existence. You have to, how would you change it? How would you make it better?
Okay. First thing, okay. I would not have Holdo perform the Holdo remover or Holdo maneuver, where she like shoots through the spaceship or whatever. I would have Admiral Akbar do that.
Ain't Admiral Akbar dead by now?
I don't know. I'd bring him back.
Why
Either
they bring
way,
back that
Admiral
guy?
Akbar would be in this, and he would perform the movie. But I don't think Disney would let someone named Akbar do a suicide bomb.
Yeah. Maybe that's why they didn't have him do it originally.
Because you know that's not going over well with
You
some
know what's
fans.
crazy? That's one of the best parts of the whole movie when she did that. That shit was dope.
But you know, think about that. A guy named Akbar, suicide shooting, like
That would have
suicide
made more
bombing.
sense because that's more realistic.
But I don't think Disney would have done that.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't think it would have been bad though. If I was I think it would have probably got more like people in the Middle East that are terrorists and
Yeah.
to do that
People
shit, they
wouldn't
would have
be,
liked it better because it would have been
wouldn't
more
have been
realistic. Like if I was part of the fucking the what is it, the Taliban, and I got to see that, I'd be like, yeah, that's the shit.
Yeah, we're talking about equal representation at Disney.
Yeah, that
That's some
would've been
equal
fucking- that would've
representation.
been awesome.
That's
I
representation,
never even thought
Disney.
about that. That would have been some awesome shit.
Right?
Like, yeah, you really want to be woke, you should have done that because that would have given rights to everybody.
You got it, like at
Me
the end of
personally-
Avengers. At the end of Avengers, and I am Iron Man. He's like, I am Akbar.
to me, okay, I'm gonna break it down to more of a like screenwriter play. I think they should add a more cohesive story arc and develop a clear overarching story arc for the sequel trilogy from beginning, ensuring that each film built upon the previous one and advanced the overall storyline or narrative. That's because it doesn't. It jumps around too much and it made it confusing.
It is very obvious that it was directed by multiple people.
Yeah, it didn't make sense. Like they should have never even fucking green lighted the 8, like without like dude, this doesn't even fit with this. This doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to rewrite this and make it make better sense. I know they were on a time crunch and they had to get something out, but come on, man, make it better.
Make it make sense.
And then I think when it came to the characters, I think they started it off with Finn getting a sense from the Force. That's the reason he didn't want to do the things. That's why he defected. And then they changed it as the story progressed. And I think that was a terrible mistake. They should have left Finn as being a Force user. Even if Rey was going to be a Force user too, I think it would have built a better story arc. Dude, even if with both of them
at the very least, you could have made him like the guy from Rogue One, where he's like Force sensitive, but he doesn't necessarily get trained as a Jedi. Like, just make him like more in tune with the Force, not just some like not. Yeah. He literally turned into a stupid side character that nobody cared about.
It ruined the overall story plot. I mean, a lot of people said make him a Jedi, and I think the same way. That was one like what I thought he was the Jedi. Like, dude, you started off the story like that. You can't start off the story like this dude gets a premonition from the Force that this is wrong, and then he don't have no Force abilities. Like, that's just dumb. That was that was like my biggest fucking with the whole fucking sequel. That was one of my biggest pet peeves with the trilogy itself. Because I was like, dude, you made it's called The Force Awakens. That's the name of the movie. The Force awakened Finn to let him know that what he was doing was wrong, so he defected. And then he doesn't have no Force abilities. That's just stupid. It didn't make no sense. It was like one of the dumbest narratives that I ever seen done, period. Like in any movie. Yeah. It did not make sense.
Missed opportunity.
And that kind of leads into like the next thing that I have, and then I'll let you say yours. A consistent character development. Provide consistent and meaningful character development for the characters. Rey, Finn, and Poe they jumped around way too much. Like Poe, he gets a premonition from the Force that what he's doing is wrong. He defects. Then he turns into the scared guy from the First Orders after him. Then he turns into like a fucking a general, and he keeps trying to escape from the First Order. Y'all blew up the fucking.
He keeps going back and forth.
The new Death Star. You was there. You was part of it, but you're still a bitch, trying to escape. And it just like they had him jumping around too much. Like, okay, he built up to being a fucking good guy. You know what I'm saying? Like a resistance, a rebel Force person. And then you made him go back to being a bitch and trying to escape the First Order again. Like, why would you do that? Like, that doesn't make no sense. Rey, her abilities progressed way too fast for somebody that just learned how to use the Force the day before yesterday.
Seriously.
And next thing you know, she's picking up giant boulders and doing all kinds. She had 3 lessons. Like, dude, that's not going to make you dope. And a lot of people will argue with me with that. With
the fuck is
her
this glow
Force
stick?
Abilities is just as strong as Kylo Ren's because of the dial thing. Yes, but you still have to learn how to use them.
Yeah.
And she never had
Your
that.
raw power might be there, but you still got to train.
His was just consistent. We didn't get a whole lot of backstory. Okay, he was a fucking spice runner and he was on Kijimi or whatever. Like, but they didn't give enough of his enough progression.
Arguably, the best of those main 3 characters was Poe.
Yeah, was Poe.
And we didn't get enough of him.
And we didn't get enough of that.
Yeah.
So that's coming from a screenwriter. I would have wrote the 3 characters, and at least I'd have made Poe a Jedi. I don't know if I would have made Rey the new Han Solo. She would have got the thing. They would have met Han Solo.
I agree.
He would have trained her.
You got to think, like, in the movie, she has such a connection to Han Solo. Like, this is all she wants in life, is to fly the Millennium Falcon, go see new planets. Like, that is Rey. And instead, they're like, skirt, let's make her a Jedi. Like, dude, she was so naturally drawn to Han Solo and his way of life.
I think
why not make her this next
Han Solo?
I would have made Finn the Jedi.
Finn the Jedi, and then Poe. I would have kept Poe pretty much the same. I just gave more detail. He'd have been the new Wedge. That's who he would have been. He would have been the new Wedge.
And bro, if they would have done that, I feel like there would have been enough popularity where you could have done a spinoff of like all three of those characters. You could have done a spinoff of Poe for sure. I would have watched a spinoff like fighter pilot Poe. You could have done a spinoff of Rey.
Poe was the best character within the trilogy. He had the most
100%.
He was the best. Like, that's the person I related to the most. He had the comedy in it. He was like the Han Solo of the first of the original one, because he had, you know what I'm saying, he had something funny to say, was always getting into some shit type of, you know what I'm saying. He was fearless. Don't ask me before we try it. You know what I'm saying? Don't give me the odds before. That's Poe.
Never give me the odds.
You know what I'm saying? So he was that good support character for the main character, which should have been Finn. And then, but I think that she should have been the fucking the Han Solo of the trilogy, because, well, I mean, they kind of led you on to believe that anyway. At the beginning, he had the Force sensation. They running, and she goes and they blow up the first ship. She goes, gets the Millennium Falcon, and she flies the shit out of that motherfucker for their escape. She was the perfect character to be the new Han Solo, that daring pilot that's not going to give a shit. And then Wedge, even though we don't get a lot of Wedge in the original trilogy, but it would have gave Wedge's character more of a fucking sense for that Poe would have been Wedge. Because Wedge was fearless. He was the TIE fighter pilot. He was in all the battles.
He was pilot. He's Maverick of Star Wars.
Yeah. So it would have been the best way to write the thing, to write everything.
Right. I agree. The next one I would have done is, these next three are all kind of connected, right? So the first thing is we need a backstory on Snoke. I feel like when Snoke was first introduced, there was going to be backstory to him. Everybody was like, who is Snoke? What is he? What's going on? And then he dies in the second one, ends up just being some stupid clone that nobody really cares about, right?
Yeah.
Like,
that's how I feel.
What I think we should have done is, one of the theories that was super big was the essence transfer. And that Snoke was literally still Palpatine, that had just essence transferred into Darth Vader's burnt up body or something to that effect. So Snoke is still Palpatine, right? I would have done something like that, where we're confirming essence.
Actual Palpatine back. Let Snoke be Palpatine.
Let Snoke be Palpatine, just essence.
That would have been that would have been a better story than the way that they.
Because then it's not like, oh, somehow he returned. It's not just bullshit. It's not cheap writing, because I feel like just writing him off as just some random clone that he tried to make, it just felt cheap. It felt like, all right, they were just trying to explain away who this was, and so they glossed over a real quick, easy answer. This would have provided more depth in the universe, more story, more background, more Force lore for us to dissect.
I would have been. We know Snoke was Palpatine, Bodhi, but we're talking about, instead of bringing
like the
Palpatine
actual
back,
essence
do
transfer.
the essence transfer,
right? Where he is.
I thought it would have been better if Snoke was actually freaking Palpatine's master.
Oh, you think so? Plagueis. Right, same thing.
I thought that would have been good too. I thought was the best, if Snoke was Plagueis.
I would have agreed with that. And Luke being away wouldn't have been Luke all pissed off about Kylo Ren. Luke would have been looking for artifacts or information from old Jedi temples on how to stop him from Force transferring or essence transferring, so that when they go to defeat him, he can't just essence transfer. They can actually defeat him. So that's why Luke's not with them, because Luke is on this big pilgrimage to find the Jedi temple, to find this information on how to stop essence transferring and how to stop the Sith from doing that.
And with the
And
Kylo
that's
Ren,
how you get
him turning to the dark side, it wouldn't be that dumbass shit that they showed us in the fucking movie, because that shit made no sense whatsoever.
right. I would have had
But
Luke.
I think it would have been more of like like they should have gave us more of Snoke getting to Kylo Ren, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whoever Snoke was, he was fucking talking in
Right.
like he does in the video. Like the movie, I don't disagree with the Palpatine being the voices in Kylo Ren's head, but Snoke doing that to get him to come to the dark side.
Right. And
You know,
so Snoke is
was-
either Snoke is either Palpatine or Plagueis. Luke is you could even have Luke, like, the reason he's disappeared and hasn't come back is he went to like a Sith temple to try to find this information and then gets like stuck because there was a trap there or something.
Yeah,
right? So
just
that's why
something
Luke
better
is
than that.
gone.
Because overall,
Yeah.
that was one of the things that I hated the most with the little flashback things about the way that Kylo Ren became Kylo Ren, way Ben became Kylo Ren, because Luke feels his dark side power, goes in there, tries to kill him. He collapses the whole fucking building on the both of them, but somehow he doesn't get knocked out. But Luke does. He goes outside, kills all the Padawans there except the ones that become the Knights of Ren. He kills them all. The whole time, Luke is just knocked out. Like, how long did it? This is not no easy task. Even though they're Padawans, this is not no easy task just to kill everybody.
Exactly.
He's not Anakin with a lightsaber, and none of them have lightsabers. I'm pretty sure some of them have lightsabers by this part. Luke's just knocked out, and then he just wakes up, and everybody's dead, and Kylo Ren is gone. You know what I'm saying? That just was stupid. That was just so dumb. Like, like when he knocks him out,
You
like
need to have. Yeah,
there was
no
details there. There was no fucking plot point there. It was just, it was like you say, it was very fucking convenient writing. It was just real easy.
Right.
Oh, this is real easy to write this. We can just write a flashback. This is how it happened. Boom. This is what. Nah, man, that don't make no damn sense. And then not only that, by the time that Luke is where he is at, you know what I'm saying? You think that Luke is not going to be like, oh, because I feel the dark side in him, I'm going to fucking, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? You taking
That's
a character
not Luke's character.
that went after his dad that was just full of dark side, been killing Jedis for years, doing all this shit, but he didn't give up hope on his father. Why would he give up hope on his nephew? You know what I'm saying? The only son of his sister, you know what I'm saying? That's another thing. I would bring in more detail about Leia's training. Because, you know what I'm saying, like, and I would took out that dumbass space flight back when she gets blown out into space, come back. Come on, dude, there ain't no Jedi doing that. You ain't Plo Koon, bitch. You can't breathe in space. You know what I'm saying? Your ass is dead instantly. You know what I'm saying? But give her more detail on her training other than that quick little flashback of them running through the woods. Like, give some actual detail of Luke telling her, you know what I'm saying, what to do, what not to. All we see is she beating Luke. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, what the fuck? Like, that shit didn't, that was just stupid. All that shit was just dumb. Like, dude, that, once again, we said this many a times, but I think it was just the easy way out writing on all three of the trilogies. They just looked for the easiest way out. I mean, fuck, come on. The Force Awakens is just A New Hope.
I think that's just Disney, dude. Disney's really good at that kind of writing.
So, but I think that. Now, one of the biggest problems that I had with everything, I would have rewrote it definitely to honor the main characters of Star Wars, like Luke, Leia, and Han Solo. I think them ways of them, of the way that they did them, and I hate Disney for this, because if you think about it, they took Han out like a punk, they took Luke out like a punk. Leia died actually doing something semi-good, but I think as being
this was
like
going to be
the
my
super
next one
Jedi,
too.
she should have at least went out a little bit better than that. They could have wrote a better story than that. And because, like, come on, man. It's like, dude, and they did it with Boba Fett. They made Boba Fett bad. I think Disney is just really just took George Lucas's main characters and the characters that had the most hype and just completely destroyed their them characters in order to boost up their characters.
Right.
The characters that they had. Because, come on, man. Luke dies just because he force projected himself. Han, this dude is a hustler. That's what he does.
You don't hustle a hustler?
he's not gonna fucking die by putting his hand on his son's face and getting stabbed in the stomach. Come on, that's not the way Han works. Even with his child, he's not gonna work like that. He's too busy thinking on his feet. He is a fucking scoundrel. Scoundrels don't think like that. Even when it comes to their kid, they always looking at the hustle. Like, all right, you might be trying to fool me. I'm not gonna give up that easy. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, he's not trying to screw over his kid, but he's not gonna be letting himself in a dangerous
that close
situation
to where you could just cut me the fuck down because I don't know how far this dude got in your head. Type way. It was poor writing. Like, am I mad that Han died? Yeah, kind of. But you know what I'm saying? If you had to kill him off, you could have done way better than that. Now I know they went for a sentimental, like, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? Show how far Kylo Ren really has came to the dark side type of scenario, but they could have just done it way better than that. Right. Like, he could have force grabbed him and threw him over the edge or something, you know, something better. You're just gonna stand there. That's just not Han's character. It's not who Han Solo is. Luke, with the whole freaking, this is the most powerful Jedi in the galaxy at this point. Dude can force project entire ships if you go off the legends and stuff like that, entire armadas. And he died because he force projected across the fucking galaxy and fucking just died from that. Come on, and he wasn't even that old yet. You know, this is only fucking like 30 years, so he's in his 50s. Jesus, that's not that old. You know what I'm saying? For him to die like that. Now, Leia, I like Leia's character overall. I just think they should have had more of her character, more of her training, Rey. You know what I'm saying? I think it should have been Finn, but if we're going off of Rey, she should have done more training, show her practicing with Rey with the lightsaber. You know what I'm saying? Like, show more of the details. And I'm not mad at the way that she died because she basically went into the Force to help turn her son back to the light side. I'm not mad at that. I think that's good writing. You know what I'm saying? That was heart. It pulled on the heartstring. It fulfilled the character. It fulfilled something that Leia would do. Leia would die for the cause, die for the people that she cared about. So I wasn't too mad about the way that she died. I just think that they should have gave her more details within the story. Even though I know that, you know what I'm saying, she passed away in real life. Carrie Fisher passed away in real life, and they did a lot of stuff because of that. But they could have put more in 8, you know what I'm saying, on her force abilities. Her being, you know, they could have done more before she passed away. That's just my point. And shit, with all the technology, shit, they could have made her a complete character in every scene, and we wouldn't even have known.
And if you're going to have Luke die, you don't have him die from essence transferring. You have him die while essence transferring. So
well, he
I'm
wasn't
thinking
he was just force projecting.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Stuck
Force
on this essence transfer thing.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You have him die while force projecting instead of that's the reason he dies. I would do something like, while he's doing this whole force projection thing, they kill him or something like that. Or like, he's waiting on this planet. The Star Killer base hasn't been destroyed yet. He's force projecting to save the rebellion, and they blow up the planet he's on while he's force projecting. And he knows he's going to die, but he allows it to happen. So that's why he's force projecting. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, let him go out as a hero too, instead of just
They just they sideline all the main characters. They sideline them for the new characters, and they minimize their impact. And I don't think that was good story writing. That's just not good story writing. These are the main characters. The movie is based off of them. Like, the whole trilogy is based off of them. You know what I'm saying? You think about it. The beginning of the prequel trilogy is leading up to them being born. The whole original trilogy is based on who they become, and then you kill them off in the sequel trilogy and give them no real substance. They didn't have no real substance within the movies. They should have played way bigger roles, way bigger parts. They should have been the main characters, and these other characters should have been sidelined, or they should have had minimal.
They can take the mantle. Yeah, they can take the mantle without overshadowing.
Yeah, they overshadow. That's a good word. Oh, the main characters within the sequel trilogy overshadowed, or they were just overwhelming to the main characters of the story, because the story is based on these characters, and that's just you know, I didn't like that. You know, I just think that they could have
Like, give
they
them a
could've done.
proper send off. I think the best way is you give these old classic characters that who this is really about. You give them a proper send off. Show them sacrificing themselves and passing the mantle to the next generation instead of
They
punking
just
out.
die and
Yeah.
Another thing that I think that would have made the story a lot better if they would have explored more of the new Jedi Order.
Yes.
You know, they didn't give us no details in the Jedi Order. Now, I know they've been kind of, you know, like hinting towards it in The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett that they're going to get to that. But I think there should have been more. It didn't have to be a whole lot more, but we didn't get nothing. We didn't get anything. He was starting a new Jedi Order and Kylo Ren killed them all. Okay, whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's how fast it was. We should have got more detail.
Again, it was very cheap. Like, there was no depth. It was just like, we're just trying to explain stuff really quick.
And it falls into what I said earlier. He could have started with him training Leia. And then bringing in, and the both of them bringing in more characters. 20 minutes. They could have explained the whole story and made it a lot better. It gave us more depth to where things were headed before all these events happened.
Right.
It would have just gave us, it just would have been better story writing. And it would have showed like this new philosophy. I think they didn't give enough of the new philosophy. They didn't give no new philosophy of the Jedi Order. Maybe that's what the new Rey movie is going to do. Hopefully, you know, whatever. But it gave us none of the philosophy and challenges of the next generation of Jedi
I think
that Luke was training. We had nothing. We knew nothing.
I think one of the beauties of George Lucas, the universe he's created has so much depth. There's so much story behind everything. Everything is so well fleshed out. And the sequels didn't have that. The sequels had quick explanations so that we can, let's just get to what we're trying to get to.
Well,
Meanwhile, Star Wars had so much depth behind it that, like, there was so much there. There was reasons behind everything. There was a setting. There was depth to the world around them where it made everything feel real rather than here's just hurry up and write to get to where we're going to.
I watched 7 on Thursday. And I'm watching it, and I'm like, dude, there's no, like, when you're watching it, they're going to that model, quick, big CGI action type thing, because it starts off with the fucking battle on Jakku. Goes right from that to Poe and Finn's escape. It goes right from that to, you know what I'm saying, Rey and Finn's escape. It goes right to, you know, it's just action. And they went to that model. We got to keep a bunch of action and CGI stuff pumping at you the whole movie in order to keep you excited about what's going on instead of telling a story. And once it goes back, it's going back to the thing we've been talking about a lot with Star Wars lately, just period, was that they're doing more high CGI, high action type things instead of giving you a good overall story. They're being very lazy on the writing, and they're covering it up with a lot of CGI and a lot of action scenes in order to keep you enthralled with the movie. You're excited because these things are happening, but it distracts you from the actual storyline. Right. And that's exactly what they did. It was like they took New Hope and threw as much action as they possibly could within it without telling no story. Right. Because I think they were trying to distract us from the fact of we were just watching the New Hope again with new characters. Right. And then they just continuous that with the 8 and 9. You know, with Rise of Skywalker and The Last Jedi, they just kept on going with that. They left out the overall story arcs. Because I could not, like, literally, I'm sitting down and I am looking at, because I looked at the movie, like, I wanted to look at the 15 plot points or the 15 beats, because every movie should have like 15 beats, or it could be more or less, but it needs to have these beats. That's your heartbeat of the story. It goes boom, 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 and it leads you into the next part. And really watching it, it wasn't doing that. Looking at it overall, you don't know who the main character is. You don't know what's going on. They tried to cram too much stuff into certain sequences of the film, and they tried to do it all using a basis that has already worked before with the New Hope. And you didn't get that overall story arcs that you were supposed to get. You didn't. They weren't there. Because I'm sitting there like, dude, like there should be a beat right here. and there wasn't no beat right here, or they had two beats right here that were way too close together. And it's like, dude, this is it kind of gives you a sense of discombobulation. Like, okay, what when you're looking at it, and this is me looking at it as somebody that's wrote stuff, and I'm looking at, because I can't say I wrote screenplays, but I haven't ever got anything done. So I can't say I'm a screenwriter, but I wrote screenplays, and I kind of know the format that it should go in, and it just wasn't fitting in that format. It was just really, really off, and it left, like, because I'm watching it, and now that I'm watching it with this type of thought process, and not just watching it as a film, I was like, dude, that's why it felt that way. That's why a lot of people complained about, like, I couldn't get into it, or if I was into it, something distracted me, is because they didn't fulfill the plot when they were writing this out. They didn't.
Right.
It wasn't linear to the way a movie should be done.
I also think I would have liked kind of more on that Jedi thing you were talking about. I want to see more of the training. I want to see a little bit more of the philosophy, because I think Luke had a different philosophy of the Force than the Jedi in the prequels had, and the Jedi before Order 66 had. And I want to go a little bit more. I wanted to go a little bit more into that. Like, how did Luke view the Force? Because Luke was he was a different kind of Jedi. And I wanted to see more of that.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Like, I just think they should have been more about Luke. The whole damn thing should have been more about Luke. Luke is what, I mean, we were all kind of expecting that, and they kind of just let us all down with that. You're thinking about
I think that's what everybody was most excited for. Was like, all right, let's see Luke now that he's a full-on Papa Jedi. You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? We didn't get that. And I think it was something that was very, I mean, it just kind of made us feel like, dude, you just fucking said, fuck y'all, we're going to do what we want and not give the fans the people that you want to see. And if we do give you the people you want to see, we're going to make them crap. So you'll forget about them and like our characters. Well, that's not going to happen. We've been following these characters for years.
Yep.
And on the other hand, if you was going to, make it about these characters, give us more about the characters. We just one day found out that Rey was a Palpatine. Well, and we seen her mom and dad. Well, how?
How? Why is that significant? How is she a Palpatine? Exactly.
How is she? They didn't give us none of that shit. We seen her parents get killed. We don't know. It took years later in a book for us to find out who her parents were.
And it felt very much like when we did find out, it was like, all right, so what? Like it felt like, all right, great. Now what? Like there was nothing really to it.
It didn't offer any narrative to the story. It really didn't. Like, they didn't even have to call her a Palpatine. They could have said, you're a fucking whatever. It wouldn't have made a difference. Us finding out that she was a Palpatine.
She's a Windu.
And she's the fucking granddaughter of Palpatine. It didn't offer to the story much. You know what I'm saying? Because he could have done that with anybody. He could have done that with Kylo Ren. He could have essence transferred into any of them. You know what I'm saying? He could have done that. Like, it wouldn't have mattered. Anybody that was willing to go to the dark side, and that's my thing. Why, if they're a dial, you know what I'm saying, or in the Force, why didn't he just take fucking Kylo Ren, essence transfer into Kylo Ren, and then get rid of Ben and be fucking Palpatine in Kylo Ren's body? Yeah. Why would he try to go after the girl that wants to be a Jedi and wants to have peace and save all of her friends? Like, if they're a dial, that means they're at equal fucking power. You know what I'm saying? That shit didn't make no sense. Like, why would you go through all that fucking trouble? There's, like, anywhere in Star Wars that you, in any of the books, because this is a Legends fucking thing. You know what I'm saying? Technically, it's a Legend thing because it came from Bane. If you're going to do that, you don't have to do it with somebody that's of your bloodline. You know what I'm saying? Like, where did this bloodline shit come in at? Like, that confused me. Like, why ain't you just going to fucking Ben and just fucking just wreak havoc on the fucking planet? It doesn't matter. He's a Skywalker. He's probably more powerful than you any fucking way. You know what I'm saying? You were scared of Anakin. That's why you had the thing put in his fucking heart. So if you died, he would die, and he knew about it. So that's why he didn't ever try to kill you.
I think I would have scrapped the whole dyad thing, To be honest,
it just-
I would scrap the
didn't
diet
offer
thing. I would
much to
scrap the
story.
stupid love story.
The only thing that it
was,
offered to the story was that they could fucking talk to each other through the Force. But fucking a lot of Jedis and like fucking there's been a lot of throughout the history of the books. There's even in the fucking even in the movies, they could talk to each other using the Force. A fucking master and a Padawan. Darth Vader talked to Luke. You know what I'm saying? At the end, the Empire Strikes Back through the Force. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like that. This is like having a dyad thing. You know what I'm saying? In the Force, which was they just created, had no real practicality within the show or in the movies. It really didn't serve any purpose because two Force users can talk to each other. You know what I'm saying? So through the Force, across the galaxy, they didn't have to be a dyad to be able to do that. I just thought it was like, once again, it's very fucking like, let's create something for them to do this. They already can do that. You're just wasting time. That, to me, that was, there's just a lot of bad things that they did that they could have done so much better. The overall narrative just wasn't like, they didn't offer us any lineages of Rey, and what they did offer us was like, dude, this don't make no sense. Like, first of all, Palpatine's just banging chicks. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that he didn't, but
oh, come on.
like,
you
then
know,
you go to the
you
book,
know, if you're
then you go
emperor,
to the
you're
book.
banging chicks.
Then you go to the book, and the way the book explains it is that he cloned him. He cloned his son. His son was a clone. It wasn't even like he banged some chick and knocked her up and had this baby, and then he had a baby. No, he cloned him.
Yeah.
He made a clone of himself and basically with some different stuff and made his son, and then the son knocked up some chick and had Rey. You know what I'm saying? The clone son.
Yeah.
Like, dude, it's not like you didn't have to do all that. Like, even the book, you could tell when the writer was writing the book, and you're reading I listened to the audiobook, and I'm listening to this audiobook, and I'm like, what the fuck? It's like, even when he wrote it, he was like, this is dumb. I wouldn't even have to write this shit down. Somebody just use some common sense and write in the movie.
He's writing, and he goes, wow, I'm having to do some gymnastics to explain this shit.
It just didn't make no sense. There was no purpose in it. But it just sucked. And then they didn't give us no explanation of it, like, at all within the movies. And it just made it, I don't know, it just made it weird. And then I think they just didn't have, they needed a stronger villainous presence within the story. You know what I'm saying? Like, Snoke was not scary. Snoke was not somebody that I'm going to remember for the rest. I'm going to remember Darth Vader.
Yeah.
I'm going to remember Palpatine.
If he was
I don't give a
Plagueis,
shit about fucking Kylo Ren and fucking Snoke. Like, who the fuck are these guys?
Like, if he was Plagueis, like, holy shit, this is like, just the name would have been enough. Where you're like, this is Plagueis. Oh shit, Plagueis is still around. Like, he's the daddy Sith. You know what I mean? Like, it would have been scary enough, you know?
Hey, that might be so Star Wars team leader said he had to make a clone because his willy was like his face. But, you know, a girl might like that, you know, all wrinkled up like that, you know, it might have been
ribbed for her pleasure.
Yeah, ribbed for her pleasure. It just, I don't know, man. It just, the villainous character, it didn't, like, Kylo Ren struck no fear in me.
No, not at all. And he could have, because the lightsaber was an interesting idea. The suit looked kind of cool. They just kind of ruined him. And then he had potential.
Honestly, and when the force projection or the holograph of fucking Snoke was kind of scary. But then when you seen him in person, you're just looking at this dude like, what the fuck? This grandpa looking motherfucker.
Just some guy sitting in a chair.
Some guy bashed him in the head and shit. You know what I'm saying? This dude ain't scared. I'll kick this dude's ass. You know what I'm saying?
Seriously.
They just didn't have a good villainous presence within the story. Now, I do like the Wayfinder idea. I think that was a good little story arc that they did have in there. I thought the Wayfinder, the Sith Wayfinder, you know what I'm saying, Koji, and you know what I'm saying, them having to find. I think all them things, the knife, and I think all them things was good things, and I would have kept them in the story. I'd have just did it differently. I would definitely done those differently. But the
that's why I think
villainous character,
the perfect way.
Even Palpatine was not scary in Rise of Skywalker. I'm like, dude, what the fuck?
I think the perfect way, you could have had the Wayfinder in there, but that's like a key to find some ancient Sith temple to figure out how to stop the essence transfer.
Yeah, they could have done it like that. They're just they could have wrote it they could have wrote it in a better way. That was the best to me. That was one of the best parts of Rise of Skywalker was the Wayfinder. You got to get the Wayfinder to get to the place that you need to go. It's a good idea. It's good writing. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to have something to lead you to something else. And they did that. But the way they did it was just like, yeah, man, it's
kind of pointless. It was pointless the way they did it. I get the idea,
it's pointless to have that if you're going somewhere that's stupid. You know what I'm saying? like Exegol, all the planets in the galaxy, they couldn't have went to like fucking. They had to make up a new planet. They couldn't have went to one of the Sith home worlds.
That's what I'm saying. It could have been like some ancient lost Sith temple that you need the Wayfinder to find it. You know what I mean? And that's where Luke is, and Luke is the one trying to find out how to stop the essence transfer from Plagueis or whatever, and you know what I mean?
Would have been good.
There's just so much there.
If it had showed up, and instead of being Palpatine, it was like an actual Sith, like the species of Sith, dude with the fucking tentacles hanging off his face with red skin. That would have been some scary shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, who the hell is this guy? Oh shit, that would have been some scary shit. Somebody needs to put the original Sith in there. Like, there was like some world that back outside of the outer rim, back on the other side of freaking, you know what I'm saying, the Thrawn's people, you know what I'm saying, back somewhere way out, they need to have a world of Sith.
Yeah.
Like
it just would have been better
Sith.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Yeah, a dog that could use the Force would have been better than Palpatine returning. Like, all the Sith just keep coming back alive.
Could use the Force.
Like, that was the most laziest writing ever. Oh, we just gonna bring Palpatine back. Like, damn, and don't get me wrong, Palpatine as a character, that's a scary dude. He just wasn't scary in the Rise of Skywalker.
You could have brought Palpatine back if you did something with the essence transfer, something like that.
Because then it would have fulfilled in the reason that he named one of the true forces Revan and Darth Bane and Darth Revan and Darth Plagueis. It would have made sense because then they could have explained everything out like, dude, really has been Bane the whole time, and they gave us something that we've all been wanting for freaking years. Like, did he really get the essence transfer off? Was that, and they could have explained all that, and it would have been so much better. Now, people that don't know anything about that would have been like, what the hell, who does this dude? Like, but, all real Star Wars fans that, know who Bane is would have been like, oh, shit. Or, like, even if it was like the original fucking Sith Emperor, like the whole time he's just been floating around space and then he actually got into a body again. Because he can't die, he's part of the Force. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, he sucked the planet dry.
Right.
They could have figured anything would have been better than bringing Palpatine. Yeah, I would have been more happy if it was fucking Darth Maul.
I actually would have too. Yeah.
Like if it was Darth Maul, it would have been better because of the simple fact that we know Darth Maul didn't die. We know that. You know what I'm saying?
I wish he did, but yes, that would have been better.
That would have been better, and it would have led us to. It would have helped with Rogue One that they wrote. That Disney did. Disney did Rogue One. It would have made more sense because holy shit. You know what I'm saying? Maul's running the crime syndicate, and then to see him on Exegol or a different planet, because I don't think Exegol, why just create a whole new place that nobody's ever talked about before in the history of Star Wars? Like,
seriously.
Make it one of the Sith fucking planets. You know what I'm saying? That the Sith were in control of. Make them go there, and Maul is there. That would have been some fucking exciting shit.
That would have been
like,
sick.
oh, it's Maul. And Maul's like all super dope, and it took Ben and her to fight Maul to win. That would have been some fucking spectacular. And Ben dies. get stabbed in the stomach. You know what I'm saying?
With the same move that killed Qui-Gon. Oh,
yeah, you know what I'm saying? That would have been some exciting shit. Palpatine, like, nah, man, come on. It just wasn't, there was nobody, like, I feared nothing within them movies. Like, when you seen Darth Vader for the first time, it was scary.
Yeah.
When you seen Palpatine, it was scary.
The
When you seen
presence that
Jabba
they
the
gave
Hutt,
off.
it was scary. They had good villains. And when you seen Maul the first time, them were good. Them were fucking iconic fucking villains. Snoke and Kylo Ren, them is not iconic fucking, like, there's nothing scary about these dudes. And to see
Snoke was
Palpatine
like,
back
I've
from the
seen this
dead, that was
emo
not
kid
no
in high
scary
school.
shit. Like, oh, it's Palpatine. Really, Palpatine's back from the dead. It gave you that. You didn't go, oh, it's Palpatine. You was like, oh man, really? They brought Palpatine back? You know what I'm saying? That was the first thing that popped out. Really, Palpatine? Oh God. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are they doing? That's the way I feel. Now, this is just my opinion, and you know, your opinion. And some people love the fucking
Yeah, and some people are wrong.
yeah. And then honestly, even with the Palpatine thing, even with the Snoke thing, there was no mysteriousness about it or no like real subplots. Like Padme and Anakin's love story was a subplot of the prequel trilogy.
It was a subplot that also
Made sense, and it led somewhere.
Yes, it drove the main plot. You know, everything. That's why Star Wars is so good. Everything's connected, and there's so much depth, and there's so much going on, and it just felt like a real world where everybody has their own lives, and so much is going on in everybody's lives, and so much is going on with everything, rather than a very superficial setting world that has no depth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it just there wasn't no real subplots with it, and the subplots that they did have didn't make no sense. Like Finn being in love with Rey, and Rey being in love with Kylo Ren, and Rose being in love with Finn, and Poe just not giving a shit, not listening to nobody. You know what I'm saying? They're like none of the subplots made sense to the story, and they didn't drive the main plot. They were lacking very much so. So you didn't get none of that in-depth feeling with you. Star Wars is supposed to spark an emotional and imaginational, you know, I don't think imaginational is the word.
Imaginational.
But it's supposed to spark your imagination. It's supposed to spark your emotions. It's supposed to make you excited and scared, and these movies just didn't offer none of that. Like, you get more of that out of shit, The Mandalorian and Andor than I even got more of emotional ties in Boba Fett and Kenobi than I did off of the sequel trilogy.
I got it from the Jedi Adventures cartoon.
Yeah, like it just didn't have none of that. It didn't have none of that emotional intrigue that oh, what's gonna happen? It didn't have none of that. You kind of knew what was gonna happen before the shit even happened. Like, oh, this is what's gonna happen. Like, I knew Palpatine was going to be in it before Palpatine was going to be in it. You know what I'm saying? I was like, well,
they had nowhere else to go.
I'm like, dude, Luke died, Palpatine's going to return. Boom, Palpatine returned. Like, I kind of figured that was going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just could tell. Because Darth Vader can't come back. He's dead. You know what I'm saying? So, like, who they going to bring back as soon as they killed Snoke, I automatically knew. I was like, yeah, Snoke is dead. Yeah. It's going to be Palpatine.
I remember sitting in theaters. And being like, I swear to God, if they make Kylo Ren and Rey kiss, I'm going to lose my shit. And of course, and soon enough, oh my God, of course they did. That was so stupid.
I mean, it just, like, a lot of the stuff, it just didn't have no payoff. There was no subplots, there was no payoff, and it just was it left, if I was going to rewrite it, I would literally throw out the entire thing and rewrite the whole sequel trilogy over again. If I was Disney, and this is just, I know they're never going to do it. People have been bitching about it for years.
I think the idea that we've come up with today would have made an awesome trilogy. You could keep all the exact same characters too. We just did it.
Rewrite it in a sense so that it makes sense. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, it didn't offer anything. And that's the biggest thing. Even if you go back to, like, the Clone Wars, you know what I'm saying? And Rebels. This shit made sense. It filled in the gaps. It all became linear, and it made sense. Even though some of the Clone Wars didn't make sense. Because some of them were just filler episodes. But this shit made sense. You know what I'm saying? It helped the story. I do not think the sequel trilogy helped the story at all. I think it really, if anything, it was a bad reflection on the story. And we might, you know, and people say, oh, that's what they said about the prequel trilogy. I'm like, dude, the prequel trilogy was like, I wasn't one of those people, because I seen the prequel trilogy and I was like, dude, this shit is fucking dope. You know what I'm saying? But there was some people out there that said the prequel trilogy did the same thing that now they're saying that the sequel trilogy did. But at least the prequel trilogy made sense. Like, the characters made sense. They led you somewhere. They led you to, you know what I'm saying, New Hope. They led you there. You find out what happened. This didn't lead you nowhere. Like, and it might change as new stuff comes out. You know what I'm saying? As the new the new Rey movie comes out, the new Rey movie might explain a lot of stuff and might make sense, but it might not. It might just be another random ass story that's like, dude, what does this have to do with anything? You know what I'm saying? Why are you guys trying to fucking change George's fucking dream of what this was supposed to be? Because like the shit George wanted to do for the sequel trilogy that they threw in the trash like some dumbasses, dude was. Like, from what I've heard, like, I haven't got a chance to read the script. If it's online, somebody please put a link out there because I will read that shit. But, you know what I'm saying? It was way better, and it was linear, and it went into a story, and it had, you know, these different characters in it, but it still was based on the actual story. It led us to something that's going to be greater than leading us to somewhere that's just, we don't have no idea what the fuck's going to happen next. Type shit. Like, I don't even know what it is. I don't even know how y'all could fix this. I mean, I know that they can. A good writer could fix anything.
No, I disagree.
They could fix it. A good writer, somebody that
a good writer cannot fix anything.
If I had a chance to write it from this point forward, like ending at 9,
can't fix it. You cannot.
And I could write the next movie. I can make all this shit make sense and fucking.
How? You cannot make Luke Skywalker make sense.
You could write, because I would write in the fact that all the time that it wasn't fucking Palpatine, that it was Bane the whole time. That would fix that fucking thing.
Okay, Luke Skywalker.
Okay. I would write that in there.
How? Okay. How do you fix that? You don't fix that.
I'll write that in there. I would also write in the fact of that Finn becomes a Jedi, because I'd have fucking Rey start training Finn. You know what I'm saying? Now, we'll get to that when it comes to news and rumors. But I'd have Finn be a Jedi. I'd have Rey restart the Jedi. I would show how the Jedi would be fucking done. I would have Luke coming back as a Force ghost and talking with Rey and helping her to understand. I would have Yoda coming, and I would have Obi-Wan coming, all of them Force ghosts helping her through the process of training the new Jedi Order. You know what I'm saying? I would have... Palpatine would have been fucking Darth Bane the whole time. Darth Bane's essence trap, that would explain everything. How he was able to essence transfer into a clone. Because, okay, that was the closest thing I had was a clone. I would also explain that the original fucking dude that got thrown down in the fucking thing, that wasn't really Palpatine, that was the clone. And Palpatine was the actual Palpatine. They didn't bring him back from the dead because he was never dead. He was on Exegol the whole fucking time. The clone was the one that Darth Vader threw down the fucking shaft. Darth Vader died because if you think you're gonna die, and you really believe that, you're gonna fucking die. You know what I'm saying? And then without him knowing him, actually when Luke took off the mask, that's what killed him, because he couldn't breathe right. I would explain that out. It'd be like a 3-hour long movie. It wouldn't be no short movie, but I would tell a linear story and explain everything that happened in the fucking thing. And Luke would not have died because he fucking force projected.
No.
He would not have died like that. How he died is because he was already sick, and that was one of the reasons he left. He had an ailment that he couldn't get rid of, and that's the reason he left, not because he was a scared bitch. You know what I'm saying? Not the way that they played him out. I would explain it, and I would give his character depth on the reason he left, because he thought that, you know what I'm saying, because he knew he was sick. And then when Ben went and killed all the people and killed all the Padawans, he just it was too much for his sickness, so he just got away. And so when he force projected, he used the last bit of his force strength that he was using to keep himself alive to fight against the ailment that he had. That's what killed him.
Sure. That's better.
There's a way to fix it.
I
now,
still
are they
think
gonna
that's
do that?
weird.
We're not going to get none of that shit in the
That's
fucking...
still kind of, yeah, but like at some point you dig into a hole where like even you could technically fix it. It's still not great.
It's still not going to make the sequel trilogy great. It's still going to be the sequel trilogy. But it would explain a lot of the things, and it would make it, okay, now, when you watch it, with the explanation of these things, it'll make it a lot more bearable to watch.
When you watch the sequel trilogy, do you take that as canon? Because at this point, I just pretend it doesn't exist. Because that's not Luke to me. This is just Disney's attempt. I really in my mind, it's a separate thing.
Like what I do when I watch the sequel trilogy, I literally put in them things like I was just explaining on how I would write it if I was to write the sequel trilogy over again. I put all those things in there so it makes sense to me. Because if not, it just doesn't make sense. It's just weird.
I'm at the point where like I just refuse to accept it. This isn't real. Blah blah blah. Blah not listening.
Because in all honesty, like I watched the sequel trilogy. I still watch the sequel trilogy. I'm not gonna put it on by choice. But if I turn to a channel and the sequel trilogy is on, I will watch it every single time. Because it's still Star Wars to me. Just like I will still watch the Book of Boba Fett, even though that shit is garbage. And I still watch Kenobi. Because it's still Star Wars, I'm gonna watch it. Every time Star Wars comes on, I watch it. Because there's always something new that, you know what I'm saying, I see. Or there's something that I didn't catch before. And it might make it worse, and sometimes it makes it better. But I still watch it. Because there's so much content that it's really hard. You can't keep up with every little thing. Like, to be able to pay attention to every little second of every little scene is almost impossible for anybody to be able to do. So I always catch little things. Oh, I didn't see that before. Or, you know what I'm saying? Oh, that was kind of cool. I didn't realize that's what that means. And sometimes I misinterpret shit. And then when I go back and watch it the second time, I'm like, oh, I thought that meant something else. It's like reading a book. You can read a book 1,000 times and get a different interpretation of what that book says every time you read it. I take Star Wars as the same thing. Now, sometimes it gets worse because watching Kenobi, I just watched Kenobi all over again. I was like, dude, this fucking camera shake is fucking...
And that gets worse. Every time I watch Kenobi, it gets worse.
Like, dude, man, y'all just fucked up one of my favorite characters. But that overall, that's really where the you know what I'm saying, where I stand. If I could rewrite the sequel trilogy, I'd rewrite it. I'd explain a lot of the things that they didn't explain. I'd give a lot more depth to it. It'd probably be a lot longer because you have to take the time out to go in and fix things. I would use all the same characters that was in it, but I would definitely change up some of the plot twists that they had and the plot that they had and make it way better. And if I was writing a new movie, I would write all the things I just talked about into the new movie, and it could be fixed to where the sequel trilogy wouldn't be so, you know what I'm saying, lacking. It wouldn't lack so much, and because you could explain a lot of the things and the reason that these things happen. You could put in definition and depth to it and cause it to make more sense, which would actually make the sequel trilogy good. You know what I'm saying? Because now you know this information. You're not just kind of left in the dark like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what happened? You know what I'm saying? Like, one of the biggest things I would put in there, I would explain how she's related to Palpatine. Like, dude, that's a big-ass plot hole.
And why that matters.
Explain these things. You know what I'm saying? Like, it didn't make no sense because it's like, what? And then all we do is get a quick flashback of her parents getting killed. Like, who were her parents? Like, was her mom a Palpatine? Was her dad a Palpatine? They don't tell none of that shit. Like, it took a whole book to explain that shit. Like, I don't know. It just you could make it better, but we're talking about Disney here now. Are they going to do it? It's a possibility they get good writers in there, and good writers going there. Okay, we got to fix some shit. We got to explain some shit. But the idea of that is probably not going to happen. They're just going to start a whole new story.
I've lost hope in Disney. Yes,
and just do whatever Disney wants to do. That's the probability of what's going to happen. All right,
but I like a lot of the ideas that we came up with. I feel like we could have made a dope sequel trilogy with the exact same characters and made it.
We could have.
Like, dude, just the stuff we've talked about today, I would have watched the shit out of that movie. Yeah. It could have rivaled the originals, but
I don't know if it arrived.
Maybe not rival. Rival's the wrong word, but it could have lived up to the originals.
Yeah. lived up and not rival. I don't think there's much that's gonna.
Yeah, sorry.
George
Rival
Lucas
was
has
not
had-
the right
George
word,
Lucas had,
but
like,
it could have
his-
lived up.
Yeah, it could have definitely played a very good part. It could have played a better part. All right, we ready for some news and rumors?
Let's
Because there's some
do
news
it.
out this
Let's
week.
do it. Is there?
A few things.
All right.
This is Alton Castle for the only news you need, the HoloNet News.
You want to go first or you want me to go first?
The only thing that I was seeing was that Amelia Clark was teasing her return to the Star Wars universe as Kira.
Now, okay, check this out. What have I told you? Every single character that they starts popping up a lot of shit about ends up coming back.
Oh yeah.
And there's been a lot of shit coming about Emily Clark, a lot of stuff talking about her, you know what I'm saying, rumors, different stuff, a lot of posts, a lot of news articles coming about Emily Clark. I think that she's definitely coming back. I don't think it's a fucking rumor. I don't think it's bullshit. They put out too much news, too many articles about her. She's coming back. She will be back.
You think so?
Yeah, I think she will be back.
I mean, I'd agree.
Just too
Disney,
much every 2
Disney's
days.
pretty what's the word I'm looking for here? It's pretty easy to tell. They're pretty
They're starting to get
when they
very
start teasing,
predictable.
they're getting they get predictable.
They're getting pretty predictable. Every single character that they've been pumping a lot of information about has came back.
They follow the same kind of recipes every time.
Yeah.
Same formulas.
Start putting stuff out. They all say they're not coming. They're not going to be part of no movies. They haven't been asked. Nobody's confronted them. Nobody's came to them and asked them to come back to Star Wars, blah, 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 blah. And then they're back.
Yeah.
They pop back into the thing. So,
they're pretty predictable.
Yeah, it's pretty predictable now. Now, since we ain't got CJ or Tori here to bring toys, there's a badass Darth Vader that's just been released. It's a Black Series figure. It got half the face missing, so you got half of Anakin's face. It's out of the Obi-Wan Kenobi series.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
It looks extremely dope. Hasbro Pulse put it on their Instagram, and then no, they didn't put it on their Instagram. They put another thing in fucking Arabic, or what is it called? Arabic.
Arabish.
Yeah, I don't know why I got
Arabic.
Think of biblical shit. But they put it in Arabic. The way it translates is they got a new series coming out or whatever. But this has actually been released. I think it was on regular Hasbro's Instagram. Yak Face had it on his Instagram, and then there's been a couple news articles about it coming out. And it looks pretty dope. So, then 4 new books have been revealed for the Essential Legends collection, Wave 8. And from the looks of them, they're pretty dope. One is my brain ain't. Leia is one of them. Annihilation is one of them. I can't remember the other 2, but that's kind of cool for the new Legends. It's the same books. They just got new covers and.
Oh, I got you.
It's the same books that's been
like
out
the
before.
Essential Collection.
Yeah, the Essential Collection. You talked about the Emily Clark. This is so.
I saw an article about Star Wars. They were potentially thinking about doing an R-rated film, but then they ditched it.
Got scrapped.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if how much legitimacy about that is, or at least R-rated scenes. They didn't really say whether or not it was going to be. I read the article and
it was supposed to be like, instead of the Boba Fett series, it would have been an R-rated Boba Fett movie, which honestly probably would have been better than the series.
It probably been.
That's what Boba Fett needed to be. That's what Boba Fett needed to be.
James Mangold said his Star Wars movies will not include words like Jedi or the Force, because this is before the Jedi. It's the beginning. That's the reason they call it the Dawn of the Jedi. They don't know what the Force is yet. They just know people can.
They could still say Jedi.
Yeah, they might say Jedi because that's what it was originally called. It was actually on Geek Tyrants. They did the article was on there. I read through the article, and basically he just says, that it's before the Jedi. It's before the knowing. They know that there's some type of fucking something that allows people to do shit, but they don't know. They don't call it the Force. They don't know what it is yet.
Gotcha.
And then there's a rumor running around, and I don't think this is a rumor. I think this is ultimately true. The Daisy Ridley in Lucasfilms is trying to get John Boyega to come back as Playpen.
He's coming back, dude. With all the whining he did, and like, oh, Disney treated me so bad. For a fact he's coming back. He's so full of shit.
Yeah, I think it's the truth. I think he's coming back. I think he's going to be Finn again. Because too many people said that they wanted Finn to be a Jedi, just like we talked about on the show. That was one of the big disappointments of the sequel. So I think he's going to come back. They're going to kind of explain in the new movie the Force. He was Force sensitive, but he was just too scared to use the Force, and Rey is going to, mold him and help train him in the Force.
Just what does that say about him is the only thing. Like this guy who said, I'll never come back to Disney. They treated me so bad.
Well, it wasn't Disney treating him bad. He didn't say too much about Disney treating him bad. The only thing he said about Disney doing bad because they took him out of the poster for the Chinese thing. But that's about money, Everybody. No,
because he complained about it pretty
race,
hard.
But that has nothing to do with American racism. That has to do with that Chinese racism.
Chinese, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But he didn't really say too much that Disney treated him like extremely bad or anything like that. What he was saying was he didn't like the way that they did that, and he didn't like his character arc. You know what I'm saying? Because, he agrees with the fans. How the hell you going to make me look like I'm Force sensitive and then not let me be Force sensitive?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And basically make me be a bitch for 3 movies. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not what I signed on for. But, he was more upset with the way the fans treated him. And which, there's a lot of racist Star Wars fans out there, which I don't understand why. It's like, he's not the first black character in the fucking movie. What are you talking about?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's been a lot of black characters in the fucking film. So what are you talking about? But at the same time, you know what I'm saying? He was very disappointed with some of the fan feedback that he got the fans talking shit.
Because he was a shitty character?
No, it's not even that he was a shitty character. It was more about his race than it had anything to do with his character. You know what I'm saying? Which is fucked up because we're getting that shit like, dude.
Well, that doesn't make sense. We've had plenty of black people before.
What there's racist people in Marvel and racist fans and just about every genre. That's just stupid ass fucking people. Like, dude, it's 2023 and you're still saying racist shit, you dumbasses.
That doesn't make sense. Like, one of the most famous favorite characters in Star Wars is Mace Windu.
Yeah. Fucking Billy D. Williams. Come on, man. Fucking
yeah, dude.
Like, dude, what the hell? He's like a main character in the last 2 movies of the original trilogy. What are you talking about? Like, but you get dumb people saying stupid shit, and it just and he got bad, and I don't blame him for that shit. But you know what I'm saying, come back, be a better character. You know what I'm saying, or just come back, prove everybody fucking wrong. That's how I look at it. I don't know. Fuck. Right. And that's about all I had on news. You have anything else? My 2 biggest things was, you know what I'm saying, the rumor that they're talking, which I don't think it's a rumor. I think Daisy really is trying to get him to come back, and Disney is like, come on, come
he's
back.
Gonna
we
come
need
back.
you to be part
he's
of
coming back.
I think he's coming back. I don't think it's a rumor. I think they're really talking to him, and I think he'll come back.
I think
I had some of the same thing. The B-rated, the brutal movie that would it says with rated R elements. I think they should have done it. And then
I think so too.
Mangold, that they ain't gonna use the Jedi and the Force. Which anybody that think that they were gonna be using Jedi and the Force, like, dude, they don't know about that shit. This is the beginning. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They're on Tython. You know what I'm saying? They don't know what the fuck is going on yet. You know what I'm saying? They just know people can do weird shit. It'd be really cool if they made it like it was like people that used the Force was like a witches and they were burning them at the stake. That would be dope.
Witch!
That would be making something like a movie like that. Like, you know, it's like, oh, these are fucking witches. You know what I'm saying? Fucking, that shit would be kind of
Yeah,
crazy.
Monty Python and the Holy Grail. She's a witch.
And the Emily Clark thing. Which I was bringing that up anyway, because over the last week, I've seen like 16 different fucking things about Emily Clark. Last week, there was like 12. I'm like, dude, she's coming back. She's definitely coming back. They're making something that has to do with her being in it. Now, is she going to play that character? I don't know, but she's definitely coming back.
100%.
Because they're talking about this way too much. But that was all the news I had. You got anything else?
No, that was it for me.
All right, we want to get to the quote. I do have, I mean, not the quote. Why I keep saying that? The fucking quiz.
Good luck. Good luck to me. I'm going to be host.
Yeah. Well, you know, one of these times you could do the fucking quiz and I'll sit back and fucking.
Sure, I'll give it a try. I'll give it a shot. You'll get them like easy though.
Oh, I don't know. Shit. My brain don't work the same as it used to.
I took this quiz. I took this Star Wars quiz on like TikTok the other day, and they're like, "This is going to be the hardest quiz you've ever taken on Star Wars." Took it and was like, "Dude, what the fuck? This shit is easy."
Like I was thinking about doing a book with all the quiz questions in it.
Oh, that'd be good.
Like a real,
like trivia.
Yeah, like a trivia book, Star Wars, the true Star Wars Impossible quiz trivia book. I thought that would be fun. Put all those hard-ass questions in here.
Right.
We got a lot over there. Oh, hey, everybody. This is our 175th episode.
Is it?
Yes.
200. We're coming up on that 200 mark.
Yep. This is our 175th episode. I think it's our 175th episode.
Wow.
I know the last couple I didn't number.
There's got to be more than that.
I mean, we've had more episodes out because we had like shorter episodes and like the little fucking things. The little things, you know, like the pre-shows for the things. We have more than 200 out. But our actual episode number-wise, this is our 175th episode.
Thing. All right. Start the quiz.
All right. Ready? Yep.
Let's do it.
Stop right there, you rebel scum. Prepare yourself for the Star Wars Impossible quiz. Blast them.
All right, real quick. I'm sorry. We over here we just been like fucking really like not looking at the fucking
comments.
The comments. So I'm gonna go back and read some of them. Yeah, like Luke didn't even fight Vader or Palps. They're gonna tell me a dream makes him want to kill his sister.
No, go back before that. Bodhi was liking my idea. He said, "Word, that's actually a good idea, especially since Luke kind of learned himself with his projecting." Yeah, he liked my idea. I had a good idea.
Let's see what else we got here. Star
Han
Wars
Solo went out in a gunfight.
He had to make a clone because he was really. Oh well, I said that one. Apparently, George's sequel trilogy was supposed to have Darth Maul and Talon versus Leia. Yep, I heard that too. Like I said, I haven't ever read them, but I definitely seen that before. Maul trained and he was replacement waiting. That would have been Ben was fucking Maul's fucking Padawan. That would have been way doper. And then keep them all as is and make it a force vision Luke has before going into hiding and he decides not to. That could have been a whole better trilogy just right there. That would have been a way better trilogy. You know who hasn't been in the chat today? Chris. Yeah, Chris hasn't been here. I wonder what's going on with Chris. I hope everything's going all right with him.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the quiz now. Okay, what was the name of the bike thing that General Grievous rode during his fight with Obi-Wan?
Oh, a unicycle. Motor unicycle.
Because unicycle.
It's got one wheel.
It's definitely a unicycle, but I don't think it's that's the thing. I don't think that's what it's called.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a unibike. That's my guess.
Nope, not even
a
close.
wheelie.
Nope. A wheelie.
A
You know,
wheelie.
You would think, but it didn't really have a wheel on it. It was like spikes coming out of the end of it or some shit.
It was, yeah, but the whole thing was a giant wheel.
Yeah, but you said inside the wheel. Yeah, it was just one big wheel though. They should have named
A
it like
wheel
the
bike.
hamster wheel. It was the
And
hamster,
the hamster wheel.
gyro bike. No, the
A
actual
wheel
name
bike.
of it is the Tsumi, it's TSMEU 6. That was the actual name of it.
Yeah, there's no way in hell I was going to
Yeah.
get that.
Okay. Now, that was the only one that I had. All the rest of them have to do with the sequel trilogy since that's what we talked
Fuck
about
you.
today.
God damn it.
Here goes the first one. What was Ray's mother and father's names?
I don't know. That's a thing? They have names?
Yeah, they have names. You gotta
I was
read
gonna
books,
say,
man. God, you
Ray-
gotta start getting on some of these books.
Ray's parent 1, Ray's parent 2.
That's what the thing was on the screenplay
that's-
was written. Parent 1, parent 2, male
Yeah,
parent,
one,
female
parent
parent.
2. Birthing,
Mom and dad.
birthing person. No, Disney, it would have been birthing person and non-birthing person.
Star Wars team leader said mom and dad. J-Dog said Papa and Mama.
Papa.
They
Stardust.
They actually have names. Y'all want to know their names? Dathan and Miramir.
Nathan?
Dathan.
Oh,
With a
I thought you
D.
said
Dathan
Nathan.
and
I was like, why does
Miramir.
everybody else get cool names and this
Dathan
guy's just a regular
Palpatine.
name?
And
Nathan.
Miramir, I don't know. I don't know what her last name was. I
Nathan
don't remember.
Palpatine. So Bathan
Okay.
or Dathan?
What reason did Admiral Holdo have for not listening to Poe?
She's a bitch.
No, well, I mean, but she had a reason.
Feminism.
Feminism.
She's like, I don't listen to men.
I don't listen to Poe because he's a man.
He's a man. That might get some hate.
He has a weenie. Can't be right. We only listen to women. The women control the new republic. Women's live republic. That's what
He
they
was
do.
wrong. I don't know.
Because he was wrong. Because he too much into
He's
his
too
feelings.
emotional. He's too
Too
emotional.
emotional. I mean, that's kind of right. Basically, she thought he was too impulsive.
Yep.
She thought he was too impulsive. Okay.
Because he's a man.
What was the name of the manufacturer that designed and built BB-8?
Big Booty Enterprises.
Big Booty Enterprises.
BB-8. Big Booty Enterprises.
Kind of looks like a set of balls.
Kyle's like, I
Ball
support
industry.
this. Yeah, big ball industry. Kyle's like, this is a company I support.
Hanging testicle industry.
Jeez.
Rolling testicles industries.
Roly balls.
All right. Any thoughts, chat? Come on. You know, Garrison's on his own on this one.
Bro, I don't know.
Come on, you shouldn't at least know be able to name off some of the manufacturers that we've already discussed and get it
Yeah,
right.
bro, you think I remember those? Fucking. Dude. I don't
All right.
remember any. I'm having a brain fart.
He's from Industrial Animation.
Industrial automation.
Yeah, automation
That doesn't even sound like it's in the Star Wars universe. That sounds like something.
that we
that
have
actually
here in
exists.
America or in China.
Yeah, that sounds like something that exists.
Somebody that makes the fucking speaker for that iPhone. Okay. Next question. What was Captain Fat? Where? Okay, I don't even. Where was Captain? What planet was Captain Phasma from?
Oh, jeez. I was like, where did Captain Phasma keep her tampons? I don't know. Coruscant.
Star Wars team leader says, "I know BB-8 means ball bot."
Ballbot.
That makes a lot of sense.
Coruscant,
Nope.
Naboo,
Nope.
Tatooine,
Nope.
Corellia.
Hoth. Nope.
Yeah, Hoth. Corellia.
Nope.
She was born on the Death Star.
Nope.
Oh, dang it. That would be cool, though.
All right, it's Parnasosa.
I would never have gotten that.
Parnassos. Parnasosa.
Parnasosa.
I didn't even know that was part of the Star Wars universe. So,
Sosa.
okay. And I think I asked this question before, but I wasn't sure. I didn't go back and check.
I'll still get it wrong. It's fine.
What was the nickname of the First Order trooper that wipes the blood on Film's helmet on Jakku?
Oh, Traitor. Oh, no, that's the other one. Bloody Hand Man.
Bloody Handman, that was his nickname. That's what they called him before he got killed. Well, I want to know is where the blood came from. If he got shot with a blast or when it cauterized the wound, so where did he get the blood at? You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure I didn't see nobody running around with swords stabbing
His
people.
nickname?
Yeah, what was his nickname? Why are you trying to look it up, fucker? I see you looking at the screen. It's reflected in your eyes.
Is it? With the whole screen is white, Kyle. What's the difference? There's no. It's literally
Trooper
the
number
chats
one.
and
Star Wars team leader said Trooper number 1.
dying trooper. Yeah, I have no idea.
Non-human trooper because he only had 3 fingers. There was only 3 fingers across his fucking face.
Wolverine.
His nickname was Flip.
Flip.
Yep, Flip.
Flip. Huh. He should have just gone like this, like. Fuck
Fuck
you.
the First Order.
Fuck you, Finn.
Who took Finn's deflection from the First Order as a personal insult?
The traitor. FN 21977 or 2977.
No,
He's something like that.
no. He didn't take it as a... No, you're not.
Oh,
even
so not
close.
him?
No, not him. I know you're
Finn's-
talking about... That's FN 2199.
Oh, something like that.
The one that
Phasma.
hold the fucking the
Phasma.
baton thingy. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
FN 219.
He's badass. I liked him. He was my favorite. He was the best
Redhead
character in the
boy.
show. Redhead boy. Oh yeah.
And Hux.
Hux was such a little bitch, dude.
Well, good. I got a Hux question coming up.
I hated, bro. I don't know how the First Order rose to power. Every single person in the First Order was a little bitch.
Okay. Phasma.
That's what I said. I said that.
You said Phasma?
I said Phasma. After I said Trader Boy.
Oh, I didn't hear you. I'm sorry. Yeah, Phasma took it personally because she was in charge of training all the First Order troops. So she took it personal. Okay, now this is a trick question because I've asked this question in a sense, but I asked it just in a different way. In what city was Kylo Ren, a.k.a. Ben Solo, born? The other question was, what planet was he born on? Now I'm asking, what city was he born on?
Coruscant. That's the only Mos Eisley. No. Bro, that's a great question.
And actually, when I asked the question, I said the city in the question.
He's pretty bitchy, so I'm gonna guess Portland.
Portland? He was born in Seattle. That's why he's all fucked up and depressed and an emo.
Portland, Oregon, man. I'm sorry if anyone's from. No, you know what? I'm not sorry if you're from Portland.
Dude, I don't know how people live in fucking Oregon and Seattle up there where it just rains all the fucking time
dude.
up there, man. Seattle, Washington, Oregon and
dude,
shit. It
that would
rains all
suck.
the fucking time, dude. Like it's fucking cloudy like
If I lived
80%
there,
of the
I would-
year. Like,
Yeah,
fuck
I
that.
could not live there.
But that's why Seattle has the highest suicide rate. Because,
Do they?
man, it'd just be depressing living in that shit all the time. Like, dude, I need some sun. I see why all the vampires in Twilight suck.
Let's go hang out in Seattle.
They're all pale. They get pale because they can't get no damn sun. You live in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
it's
that's
raining
right.
all
That's
the
why I
damn
live
time.
in Arizona. I'm safe from vampires.
Vampires can. Well, the Twilight vampires could go in the sun.
No, it'd be pretty easy to tell that they're a vampire, though.
Yeah,
They're not
they'd
going
be
to
all
do that.
Sparkly.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't understand. Remember when she goes back to Arizona and they all go to Arizona to chase her?
They do? Oh,
Yeah,
that's right.
in
But
the
that was
first one,
nighttime.
like,
That was
dude,
at nighttime.
They're all covered up and shit, and fucking like nobody recognized that y'all was vampires with your glistening ass skin. This doesn't make no damn sense. He was actually born on Hannah City on Chandrilla.
Oh, Hannah City?
Hannah City.
That
Oh,
makes
sure,
sense.
yeah.
Every girl I know that's named Hannah is kind of bitchy too, so I'm just kidding.
Okay. Why did General Hux hate Kylo Ren so much if they both had the same goals?
Because General Hux felt threatened. There's only room enough for one bitchy emo boy. If there's two of us, we're too annoying. We can only have one.
What the fuck? Those are not vampires. Those are... What the hell is a Grindis?
I don't know.
A Grindis.
Grinders.
I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. I'm not that much into Twilight.
I don't watch Twilight.
I just watched them because my wife made me watch them. And the only thing that was good about them was the vampire fucking werewolf fight and then the vampire fight at the end. That was, other than that, it all sucked.
Right. It's actually a great question. I do not know. Why didn't he like him? Because he didn't have a soul. He's a redhead.
No. Hey, shut up. My mama was a redhead. He valued military might over the mystical force.
So he's basically a little boy version of Tarkin.
Yep. Or not
The
even
lack
Tarkin.
of faith disturbing.
The other,
Yeah,
it wasn't
The other
Tarkin.
guy.
The other
Yeah.
guy.
Oh, you're right. The other guy. He's like, your mystical powers. I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Yeah. Last question. The leader of Kanji Club, Tassa Leach, is from what world?
Who?
Tassa Leach, the leader of Kanji Club.
I don't know what Kanji Club is.
Remember in The Force Awakens, he says, Tassa, Kanji Club, or Kanji Club, the Chinese guy. That was part of when they were on the ship with the fucking killer fucking things.
Oh, yeah. I get what you're saying. The Philippines.
They are old Greece creatures. They were sparkle. They were sparkle, old Greek creature. Oh, fuck, I didn't know. I thought they was vampires. I thought that was the whole fucking thing. Vampires versus werewolves and fucking weird shit. And I didn't know that they was fucking called something else. I thought they were just fucking vampires. They call themselves vampires.
Oh, Katsu Leach. He's
Yeah,
the.
Tassa Leach. Yeah, while you're looking it up, I see the fucking screen flickering.
What are you talking about? It's literally the comments, bro.
Ain't no comments came in.
I'm scrolling through the comments. I'm looking. There were redhead boy.
Are you gonna give me the answer to the fucking
vampires.
questions? You fucking.
I don't know. I don't know.
It's fucking. It's called Narkanji. Kanji.
Narkanji.
It's not
Narkanji.
Narshadar. It's Narkanji.
Yeah, great. I would have known that, bro. I couldn't have even Googled that shit. That shit still wouldn't have come up. Even if I was cheating, it wouldn't have popped up.
Only reason you know that because you was trying to cheat and it didn't come up, so you were like, "Fuck, I don't know."
Lies.
Next week you can do the fucking impossible quiz. You come up with some questions. Shit, I'm tired of doing it. I've only came up with 1,000 fucking questions.
I came up with some hilarious answers.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have. Some very excellent, funny answers.
All right.
That's what I miss about when Charlie was here doing the impossible.
We
quiz.
could all make funny answers
Because
together.
I could make funny answers. Because I used to have some funny ass answers, and now I can't do it because I'm the one that got to come up with the quiz.
I know.
And since I think CJ and fucking Tori just don't like doing the show anymore, because
They
they
just
never
dip.
on here no more. It'll be all. It's all right. Next week we're gonna have fucking a special guest. I bet you they show up. Bet you because this is a great guest that we're gonna have next week.
Really?
Not really.
Oh. No, not really.
To see if it makes a difference if I say that.
We'll just say that.
Yeah, we're gonna have fucking Mark Hamill on the show next week. Bet
You
they
know
both
for
show
a
up.
fact CJ would show up. Bro, CJ would quit his job to show up.
Nah, they just got a lot of shit going on right now.
He'd chain his kids to the radiator so he couldn't get into trouble.
That shit would be awesome, though. I don't know. I've been reaching out to some people. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have some guests on here pretty soon, but I just don't. Just trying to get everything, wrinkled out. Iron out them wrinkles to get a time slot. I've been talking to some people. So, but I think that's all we got for today.
Yes, sir.
Ain't much more to it. So, everybody have a good week. We will see you guys next Saturday unless something crazy comes up and we have to do a special episode during the week. But as of right now, and me and Garrison, we're trying to hash out everything on the movie fucking thing. So
The other podcast, yes.
Yeah, the other podcast. So we're gonna get everything hashed out on that, and we'll let you guys know when that's coming out. And other than that, stay outrageous, and may the force be with you.
Peace.
Thank you for tuning in to LSR. If you've enjoyed the show, consider subscribing so you can be notified when new episodes are released. If you would like to be a guest on the show or just want to give us some feedback, feel free to email us. You can also reach out to us on all major social media platforms. LightSaber Radio is produced by PicFilm Media and is a Swaycast original, starring Garrison Turcotte, CJ Elliott, and Kyle McDaniel. And don't forget to join us next time for more adventures in a galaxy far, far away.